Freedom, the ability to pursue the future, and the freedom to suck without caring. Results are not everything. Indeed, they better not be, because results always come later. And later is always too late. Page 135 of the book 4,000 Weeks, Time Management by Oliver Buckerma. Ability to have our own freedom, and the definition of it, no one knows for sure, and it depends on the individual and the person. But that's something that has been sticking in my mind for the past weeks that I've been reading this amazing book. So what is actually freedom? What am I actually looking for in the future? And what are those next steps that everyone should look forward? I'm back from my business trip, and it's time to keep on with these topics. Last week, while I was away, and more than weeks, I've been reading this amazing book, 4,000 Weeks. It's a book about time management, and I know I'm not an expert, and many people have already talked about this. This is why they are such bestseller like this. But there are key sentences or key reflections that I've been looking back to them. Things like time, and excuse me for the consistency of time, but we all humans focus a lot about having the best possible use of time. We put the effort in using our hours to the maximum, and we are losing the focus on enjoyment through the process. This is why I wanted to start with the freedom sentences, because in a way, even though there are so many utilities and so many advancements that makes our life easier, faster, and more comfortable, we look like we don't have time or freedom, or neither of them. And it's true. Myself, if you look at it from a pure basic perspective, I barely have any freedom. I work from 9 to 5 on a job from Monday to Friday, with no working from home allowed. So I have to go 1 hour and 1 hour back to an office every day. So it's around 8 hours of work plus 2 of traveling, 10, 11 hours, depending on the day, of purely committing to work to a single place. Plus 8 hours of sleep, we are around 19 hours already. Give or take that I train daily about an hour and a half, it's 21 hours, and then I need to make all the rest of the activities, daily activities like cooking, cleaning, organizing, making laundry, all the tasks that any human needs to do in order to survive. Basic things. If you start adding up, I will have an hour and a half, likely, of free time. And then add to that I'm making content or trying to think about ideas, get my own project going around. That takes like an hour again. So at the end of the day, I barely have freedom in terms of how many hours do I have to literally do nothing and be free out of responsibility, out of tasks and habits that I need to carry on. But from my perspective, I am more free than ever. And that's because I decided to take or approach time on a completely different way than many of us do. And this is one of the things that this book tried to teach us. We are super focused on studying techniques, organizing techniques, habits to maximize the hours of our day. And in the process of learning all of those new techniques, that by the way keeps coming, and many more appear, and there is a whole industry on these techniques, Komodo, you think it, you name it, there it is. Because people are obsessed with how to maximize their time. And I'm taking the complete different approach. Instead of trying to maximize my time, I'm not gonna even bother on trying to. So what this means is I know that from Monday to Friday, I have something to do, which is going to work. I normally wake up at 7 and go to at 8. But if one day I wake up at 7:15 and I arrive 15 minutes late and I need to get off work 15 minutes later, this is not the end of the world. Whatever I have to do, I will either adapt it into the routine, skip it, shorten it, or whatever it may go. So in a way, I know I have strict or fixed habits that I need to commit every day. Going to work, eating, training, cleaning, maybe editing a shorts every day, if it does happen to be the case. But what happened in one day, if that fixed habits need to be changed, it will be changed. Or maybe I will skip one thing that is not my job, obviously. I may not make the best dinner. I may not train as long as I want to. I may just not make shorts. And if I rather want to take the activity, I'll do it. I'll do it in a way that is feasible enough to happen. So this is one of the things that goes on this book. The ability to be free, and free within your duties. Think about it. We all complain that our job is horrible, that we would love to change, that we need to be there for many, many hours. And that's the case for many of you out there. You hate your job. You don't like the facilities they give you there, the working times, your tasks that you're given. In a way, I'm lucky enough to find a job that I like, even though there's a lot of hard work to be put in. But for you, that may not be the case. So you need to look at time on a different way. If you are just waiting for it to happen, hours will completely extend their duration, even though they don't. It's basic maths. But looking constantly at a clock, having the worry that you're missing on the next task, that you're waiting for the time to run to get out of work, that will only make you change and be in a jail. You will be locked forever in what is the 20th century's biggest prison, time. We are all, by how we think and how we approach this life that we happen to have, and lock on time. Time is our prison. And it's hard to believe that, because many of us just want things to end. People wait 4 years for university to end because they hated it, and for them it's just a period of transition towards whatever. People wait years waiting, studying for an exam, because when that thing ends, they will be free. But the thing is, if your mentality is, or if you're all about waiting for something to end, so the next thing can happen, let me tell you, when that thing's end, you will be locked in the next one, and you will never be free because you are not enjoying the process. And yes, enjoying the process is fucking bullshit that we tell people for motivation, for engaging, and for helping. But that's the truth. Do you think I actually enjoy going for work 9 hours a day from 8 to 5, and then having to do 1 hour subway to get home, come all sweating, and then think I need to go either train, I need to make content? Do you think I like it every day? No, there's no fucking way. But do you actually believe that if you quit, if you were given the possibility to quit and literally go to the beach and spend there forever, you will be happy and you will be free? Because I hardly believe that. Because on the process, on the trials, on the mistakes, on how we fix things, is the enjoyment and the freedom of being a human. Is being adaptive to the environment. And I have one more sentence here. I have two more, only two. He readily admits that she remains and apparently suffered to this day. It took her 5 years of attempting to catch a wave before she managed to do so. But in the process of trying to attain a few moments of bliss, Rinaldi explains, I experienced something else. Patience and humility. Definitely that. This is an example given on the book, and there's many more about patience. We want to use time to the extent and beyond because we are not patient. Myself, I discovered that I was impatient when I started working on the actual job I'm thinking, because things move super slowly, and I would love to things to happen from minutes to minutes. Why? Because I was bored. Literally that. Because I wanted to prove how things are, that I was working. But things takes time. Life takes time. But we want to use every last second, every last millisecond of our 24-hour window, because we are so impatient that we think that by maximizing time, we could get things done faster or better or whatever you may think. And I realized that it takes time. Investment takes time. Getting older takes time. Learning takes time. Life takes time for a reason. And yes, we are locked behind 4,000 weeks. That's the title of the book. That's the average life expenditure of a human being. We are locked under 4,000 weeks. I most likely have 3,000 or less than 3,000 weeks left in my life. But does that mean that I need to use every last minute in a way that when I die, I don't feel like I wasted my life? If right now my mentality was, I've wasted my life, so I need to use that time properly, I'm already condemned to suffering for the entire of my life. Think about it this way. Imagine that when you were at college, you fail a couple of years, you need to try again and redo courses. Instead of 3-4 years for you to finish, it took you 6. And right now you're thinking, I failed because I didn't use the time how it should be have done. Or meet life in your 40s, you with a family, with a house, with a stable job, you think that you failed. Because now you realize that's not where you want to be. Well, let me tell you something. First of all, you need to be proud. Whatever you've achieved so far, you need to be proud of that. Because it's something you've done by yourself, with the help of others, whatever, but you've done it. Now, don't look back and regret on the things you didn't do. Be thankful for those that you did and for that you will learn. Take those bits and use it in the future. Yes, the older we get, the harder it is to change certain things in our life. For me right now, it's way easier to move to different countries, to quit my job and find a new one, because I have no responsibility attached. I don't have a family, I don't have a mortgage, blah, blah, blah. If you're older and you have those kind of things, it will take a higher effort, but it will take more time. But you can do it as well. And you can change the small things of your life, habits, trips, whatever you actually don't enjoy. Try looking or try finding a way to enjoy. Think of days in a completely different way. There's no clear answer on how you should approach time. But for me, when I'm done with activity and fun, if it's finished or not, it is how it is. I use the time, the best of my capabilities, and I'm not going to stress about anything else. Because we spend too much time overthinking how we feel about time. And that could actually harm us so much. My goal right now in life is to be financially free. Okay? That's the freedom I'm looking right now. And it's a super materialistic view. I'm only looking, or I'm just right in the capitalism cycle. And I'm just looking for that capability, financially free. To an extent that I know I'm free. Me and my family. And I may be super selfish too, by thinking that right now. But the thing is, if I achieve financial freedom during this path, which is I'm making content, I'm making podcasts, I'm speaking on my job, it actually happens to be a powerful voice. My voice is powerful enough to commute people into changing, into getting into habits, into accepting what they need to do, working together, collaborating, all of that. If sometime in the future I manage to be financially free Thanks to this, then it will be a double reward. If I'm financially free for other reasons, then my mission could change into making my voice the engine of my life and the reason and my mission of existing. That's what I've decided of. The freedom right now is financial freedom, and that I don't know how it's gonna happen. I want it to happen, maybe it doesn't, but I would love that it's through my voice. And I repeat it multiple times that I'm lucky enough to be sitting here right now, talking to a camera, expressing my feelings, and improving day after day. And I'm not gonna stop. My next step is learning French. Oui, je vous voulais te parler en français. And I know my French sucks, same that my English do. But by learning a new language, I have the ability to keep expressing, to keep growing. And maybe in a year in time from now that I'm making this English podcast, I can sit right here and say, fuck you, I will make a French podcast episode. Or I will make a French conference. Whatever it happens, I may have the ability and the possibility to do so. And then I will be happy enough that I'm free and that I'm not stuck. I told you that my pursuit of freedom. I don't need to carry on any huge weight. That is nothing super revelatory, that is nothing super world changing, that is something that matters for me. That freedom that I'm trying to look for is what makes me happy every day. Because 1 minute of content that I make, 1 minute of practice, 1 minute of sitting here, of changing things, is enough for me to actually change, or to actually think that I'm in a good path, in the proper one, at least. Now there are a lot of desires on the way. Better camera for recording, a better microphone, better studio. Well, some would think that is not my bedroom. That is what I would like to have. Okay? It may never happen, who knows? But I'm enjoying the process. Think of life not as the end goal. Don't think in 5 years, 10 years from now. So, well, you think that 10 years from now is a long time? It actually is not. But we are in the constant mode of thinking, in 10 years, I will have changed. And we miss a big concept, which is what if, how you are going to be, how you will be in 2 years' time from now. We fail to see how we'll be in 2 years now, time. What will happen afterwards. I'm not thinking 10 years from today's. I'm thinking 2 maximum. I'm thinking 1 month ahead, and I believe that is big enough. And with it, we can talk about sacrifice, which is another topic, another podcast. How much are you willing to sacrifice for it? But that's completely different. For now, focus on enjoying the process. And if you need to make a decision, don't think if that decision will be beneficial 10 years from now. Think if that's the right movement today. We need to make sure every step we do is correct. We do not need to care about directions. Today, we may be looking forward, but that doesn't imply, or that should not restrict, that each one step feels correct and is literally taking the right exit. We will not take it. There's a well-known sentence that comes from Rome that says something like this. In Spanish it's way easier, but says something like, every path takes you to the same destiny, which is Rome. Because they build a city in a way that no matter which path you took, you will end up in Rome. We should be thinking that same thing in our life. We're not taking the straight line. If we need to take diversifications around, and we need to take curves and modify our route, then it may be like that. And no matters and no problems upon it. change your destinations if that means that is the right thing to do. And most important, be patient with yourself. Patience and the ability to actually talk to yourself and to your anxiety of saying, it's fine, just wait for it. That will give you freedom, because then you're not fighting against time, you're not fighting against humanity, you're just fighting against yourself. And if you are happy with yourself, then things are moving in the right direction. I just check the timer because I'm enjoying this 20-minute podcast. 20-minute podcast about patience, about freedom. I haven't finished the book yet, but I am enjoying it a lot. It's quite philosophical, but it gives you really good examples, like today's one. So maybe in the future I'll take another one of those advices and put it out here. I don't know if I always say the same thing, but I don't know if anyone got to this point. Probably no one. No one else will. But I'm happy that I'm taking these steps, that I'm putting myself against the camera and then giving my opinion. Kind of like a diary. I started writing a diary and I stopped because it's not suitable for me. This is something I always lean back to, and I can't stop doing it because it makes me so happy. Even though I'm sweating like crazy. Like, it's super hot, it's mid-June when I'm recording this, and the heat is fucking crazy. And doing this in summer will be hard. But I'm not gonna stop. I started 5-6 months ago, this episode 23, something like that. Which means one episode per week is 4 times 5, almost 6 months, almost half a year of weekly podcasts. And the fact that I do not need to do those deep, intense research ones and sometimes relax myself, like the business trip I did and I just recorded a 20-minute podcast conversation. This one is the same thing. It gives me such a relief. Such a relief. So thank you. If someone else listened to it, thank you. But thanks to me as well. I need to thank myself for doing this, for starting it, and for finding it so enjoyable, like I am. Sometimes in the future, I will talk, the next episodes, one of them will be our thesis, because if things goes well and I work hard enough, I will be co-author of my master thesis in business for a night project, which I'm really proud about it. And I want to make a series of podcasts about the experiences from start to end. So maybe next podcast will be myself working with the computer, but talking about the podcast and how things went on a super chill way, and we'll see how that episode works. But that's it for today. Be patient and try to look for the freedom. Don't constrict yourself to time. Don't be one of those guys, don't be one of those people out there constantly looking at the timer, stressing out. Because that's eating you inside yourself. Okay? Be happy. See you.